Hi, I'm Faith Collins, and you're listening to a coming of age podcast.
What's up, everyone? I'm Kira.
And I'm Julia. Welcome back to a coming of age movie.
This week, we're super excited to be joined by Faith Collins.
You may know her from her TikTok account where she has over 3 million followers.
Faith, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you on. We both love your account, your TikTok account, and yeah.
Thank you. That means a lot. Where did you guys find it? Did you just come up or?
Yeah, your like OOTD videos are like always on my For You page, and I always watch them because I love fashion, but I'm not that great at it. Like,
I'm sure you are.
so I always watch those videos, and yeah, they're great.
Awesome. Okay. Stoked.
So, kind of a really general question. How did COVID affect you personally and career-wise and just all of that? Because everyone has their own crazy, unique story.
So actually, when I was graduating from high school, so 2020, I was graduating. I was gonna leave school 3 months early and go work at a summer camp in California. And then after that, I was moving to New Zealand to go live with my family. But because of COVID, I couldn't really go to the summer camp. I couldn't go to New Zealand. So I ended up going on like a work slash like influencing trip to California with just some people I'd met online. And one of the girls there needed a roommate, and I was like, oh, like I can't move to New Zealand, might as well move to California. So then I moved down here to LA, and now I've been here for a year. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
pretty
it
cool.
kind of really changed the course of where I was going to end up living. And I think living here also kind of um it definitely pushed me more towards like the influencing side of career, and it made it way easier for me to go full time with it because there's just so much opportunity here. So COVID like sucked definitely, but it definitely pushed me in the direction of my career that I'm in right now.
So, do you think if it weren't for COVID, you would still like live where you used to live and like your life would be just totally different?
Definitely not. Yeah, no, I'd definitely probably be in New Zealand, and I probably wouldn't be a TikToker at all. Like I probably wouldn't have done social media. Yeah, because I was kind of bored during it, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like I'm just gonna mess around on here. And then my videos started doing good, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then it kind of like just blew up really quickly, and I was like, oh, well, I guess this is what I'm doing now. But if there was no COVID, it definitely wouldn't have happened. So
Yeah, it's so
So,
crazy how like little things can change everything.
I know. I honestly I think about that a lot. I'm like, wow, like this one not this is a huge world event,
Oh
obviously.
yeah, obviously.
right.
But it totally changed. I'm sure so many other people totally changed the course of their life. But yeah, COVID definitely pushed me in this direction.
So did you start your TikTok account during quarantine or did you have it beforehand but like actually start posting that?
Definitely during quarantine. So I think I had like I didn't even I'm so sorry, my thing's going off. I think I had a Musically account from so long ago. So like when I signed in, it was still my thing. But I remember I went to my little cousin's house and they were on TikTok, and I was like, wait, these are so interesting. So then I like went and re-downloaded it, or I guess downloaded TikTok because it used to be Musically.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, this is funny, da, 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 da. And I started like posting like short like films and videos on it. And then I was like, oh, this is actually such a good use of time. And I worked at Starbucks at the time, and they gave us like a month and a half off, and that's the time I started posting videos because I had nothing to do with myself. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And did your account kind of start to grow right away, or did it like take a little while for it to grow? What was that like?
I think started to grow as right away as soon as I started posting consistently in videos. My account definitely grew a lot when I first started it, and now it's more of like I think like maintains itself in a way. So like when I first started it, it definitely grew a lot. But yeah, I think it was like pretty start off the bat, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like it still kind of doesn't hit me that like I have like a large following. Like I forget every day, and then I'm like, oh yeah, like all these people are gonna see these videos. Like I really need to like put effort into this, like work into this. But yeah, no, it definitely was right away, and then it just kind of kept going.
I feel that's a pretty lucky thing because something I kind of noticed is like, accounts right when you first start them, that's like those few first few videos are the ones that like will like go on For You pages and stuff. So I guess,
Mhm.
it's like your first few videos need to be really good if you want to have any chance of like getting a following, I guess. I don't know,
I
something
guess
I've
so, yeah.
noticed.
I genuinely wasn't like in my mind. I was still in high school, and I cared a lot what people thought. So I was like, oh, people are gonna judge me for this. Like I don't want a following. Like I'm like I was just bored. But then I really loved just like making it and people enjoying it because I've always loved like influencing in social media. It's always I've been so interested in it. So like even in middle school, I had like an old camera, and I would put so much effort into like how my feed looked just because I enjoyed it. Like it was a hobby.
Yeah.
The people were always like, "Oh my gosh, she tries way too hard," and I was like, "No, like people can't think that. Like I need to stop. But then COVID, like quarantine, I was like, I don't have to see these people anymore. Like maybe I will like have fun with it. And then yeah, my first few videos, I can't honestly remember if they did well, but it was definitely like my first like few weeks on there. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to turn off my text thing.
Oh, I know it's
Every
so
time it
annoying.
comes in, it's so noisy.
It's okay. Yeah, and that's interesting because you were class of 2020, you said.
Mhm.
So like you didn't even have to like see people and like after you.
No,
So that's pretty
no,
interesting.
no prom, no graduation, nothing. Like I think March is like when we got our 2 weeks off, and then we never saw each other again.
That's
Wow.
so sad. Oh my
It
God.
kind of it kind of was. Yeah, my friend group, my friend, she had like a backyard prom for like our friend group. So we
Okay.
did like some stuff. But yeah, I was kind of sad. And my last day of school, this is so off topic, but I was having like such bad health problems. I was like, okay, like I got to school and my teacher said something about like, oh, you missed so much class, or said something like weird. I don't know why. I got like so offended, and I was like, you know what? And I just left school on my last day of school ever. And I was like, no, my last day of school I ever went to, I just totally left. So that like haunts me. I'm like, so if
No,
anyone,
no, it's a dramatic exit and it
I mean, you
works.
went out with a bang. I think
it
that's the
was
most
my
important
dramatic
part.
like exit on the I was like, wow, that I feel kind of bad about it, but also not really. So but yeah, no, it was interesting. Yeah. Yeah. We just never reconvened.
So I know we kind of talked about your big move to LA already, but like mentally, how was it to just like kind of like pick up and just like literally just move in with this girl who needed a roommate and just make the change and go for it? Like how was that?
It was honestly, I was already prepared because I was leaving for New Zealand, and a few days before that I found out my flight was canceled and they weren't gonna let me in. And I was like, okay. And I've been planning to move to New Zealand like my whole life. As soon as I graduate, like I'm going to New Zealand. Um, but it was kind of it was interesting, like an interesting like adjustment to like me not knowing how to cook for myself. So that sucked because I couldn't really cook. But it was really fun. I've always like been super excited to like get out and do my own thing. It was just definitely stressful with money at first because I wasn't like didn't have as big of a following on TikTok. Like I wasn't making as much money like to survive as I am now. So I was just kind of like, okay, like it'll work out. Like if everything goes bad, like I can always go home. So yeah, I met her, and then I 2 weeks later I like drove my car from Washington to California, and I was like, this is gonna be fun, like a little adventure. And then it was, and I loved it. And then I ended up moving into a house like 6 months later with where I am right now. And yeah, I've been here for a year. So it was honestly really fun. I was super excited to have an adventure and some challenge in life. So it was good. I liked it.
That's really cool. I'm just curious, what were your plans in New Zealand? Like, what were you gonna do there?
So my family lives there. I love them so much. I wanted to go spend time with them. And then my uncle, he has like a car shop and does like so much like super fun car stuff. And I was like, I'm just gonna work for my uncle and see what happens. And then school there is really cheap, and I'm a citizen. So I was like, if I go to college, like I will go in New Zealand because I'm not trying to like pay the insane amount that it costs in this country. So yeah, I was just gonna go start a life there and see how it went. But I ended up just doing it here instead, which I'm happy. I like it here a lot. I love it. But as soon as they let me in, I'm still definitely going to New Zealand.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice. You can kind of, experience have different experiences, live different places.
I know. I was like, wow. I'm 19 still, not 20. I'm turning 20 soon. So I was like, dang, I'm getting kind of like not a teenager anymore, which is making me kind of sad, but that's okay. I was
It's
like,
okay.
okay,
You'll have your 20s and then
I
it'll be
know.
a good time.
My 20s in the 20s.
Yeah. And going back to your TikTok, how does the content that you make now compare to the content that you first started with? Like, have you picked up on any, like, not picked up, but like, what changes have you made that because of like patterns you've noticed on TikTok or whatever?
To be honest, I have never been like I'm gonna follow patterns. Like I'm just gonna do like whatever I enjoy doing or like what my followers enjoy. So when I first started, I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but I did like the zombie apocalypse like series during COVID. It was like a short film thing where me and my siblings and my friends would just run around and film like the most random clips, and then I would just voice over it into some kind of like plot. But that was so fun. Like those were the videos that like I think kind of like boosted my account. So I started off doing that kind of just random like short skits and stuff, and now I just do kind of more lifestyle like what I do every day in fashion. But I think it's because my follower, I think from what I can see, they like to see like just what I'm doing. So yeah, I definitely moved from short skits and like random stuff to like a more like routine day in my life fashion stuff. But I definitely want to go back to doing some skits maybe like this summer, or
Yeah,
not this
do it.
summer, maybe this winter. Yeah, I'll come full circle.
Yeah, I love those like skip and like the scripted videos. They're so funny.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah, definitely a big change, but it's kind of slowly just morphed into new things every like 3 months. I'm like, okay, something new.
So a lot of your TikToks now focus on a lot of fashion stuff. So how did you get into like the fashion world and everything like that?
Ooh, so since I was a little kid, when I was first growing up, I remember my family, we were definitely not like middle class well off. So like I never got to go like new clothes shopping or anything. I would always thrift. Like that was like the OG, like we had, thing.
Mhm.
So I think like as a little kid, I was so like I loved going there and seeing like all the old clothes from like the 70s and the 80s. And where I grew up, we had like sick thrift shops and like no one went to them. So I think from like a little kid to like teenager, I just kept going there and I like to just like put different things together. And then I think definitely like both the platform TikTok's giving me and like my followers like giving me like the ability to like actually go like shop and like do that kind of stuff. It's been so exciting. I'm like, wow, I can like actually afford to like invest in this hobby that I've like had since I was a little kid. So I'm actually like so thankful. Like that's so nice. Like I get, it's like a freedom, new freedom. So I think just since a little kid, I've loved fashion, loved going and putting things together. And then yeah, I made a few OTs over summer and people love them. And I was like, yay, like I've always wanted to do this. Like this is my opening, like I'll just go for it. And then living in LA is definitely nice because there's so many creative people here. Like just I go outside and I'm like, wow, everyone looks amazing. So I think definitely my friends here and stuff are inspiration too, just seeing them. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys like how did you think of this? So definitely living here, I'm like, there's endless inspiration everywhere.
Yeah, I visited LA over like this past summer, and like literally just every time I stepped outside, I was like, everyone here is cooler than me.
No, but I feel that way. Whenever I go to the Melrose Trading Post all the time.
I was literally
Whenever
the best experience of my life. It was so much fun.
I've
I
heard
loved
so
it.
much about that trading post. Oh my gosh.
everyone there is dressed so good. I go and I'm like, okay, next week I'm gonna try. Like every week I like think I'm gonna get ready, but I'm just like, it's hot. Like it's so hot in there. So I just wear like shorts and t-shirt and I regret it every time because everyone looks so good.
Yeah, I went on the 4th of July, I remember, and it was like everyone looked so good. Like there were so many people there and everyone looked so good, and I was just like, okay, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm sure, yeah, like the 4th of, I'm sure that was busy. I'm trying to think of what I did on the 4th of July. Oh, I went back to Washington for the summer. I was like, I
Oh.
can't miss a Washington summer.
And so now, do you still thrift a lot, or do you have some other favorite stores that you like to go to?
I definitely still thrift a lot. Living here, thrifting sucks. Everyone prices stuff so expensive and it's like $40. I bought this cardigan the other day and I got home. It was $40 and I realized it had holes in it and I was like, you know what? It sucks here. But I definitely thrifting's still my favorite. Also like before TikTok, I definitely said I was totally like I would thrift. Like I tried not to shop like fast fashion or anything. Now like I am guilt like I go to Urban Outfitters and Zara, which is just like glorified fast fashion. So I do go there. But I think mainly thrifting and then I like Zara. Like when they have like the cool like suits, I'm like, maybe I'll go check that out. Try to think of anywhere else that I've really liked recently. I definitely like Urban Outfitters. Urban Outfitters and Zara are like my go-to for like accessories and stuff. But then like my clothes or ooh, maybe shoes. I definitely I go to Nike a lot. Nikes and Converse. Those are like my two go-to shoes. So I'd say Nikes, Converse, and then Zara and Urban. And other than that, thrifting.
I love Urban Outfitters, but oh my gosh, can it get expensive?
It
Like,
can, yeah. I have to rein myself in. I live so close to like shopping now because where I used to live in Washington, there was like no stores anywhere. I had to like take the ferry to Seattle. But now I like walk out my house and I can like walk. So I'm like, no, Faith, you're cut off like once a month.
So is there like one item that is like a must have for everybody to have in their closet that you think is just like you can't live without it?
Yes, it's this green sweater that I'm wearing right now. I literally wear this like 3 times a week. I think everybody needs like a signature sweater that they can either like dress up, that they can wear to bed. Because so last night I went to like a little gathering with my friends. I wore this green like I thrifted this. It's a green J. Crew sweater, and it goes down to like my middle of my thigh, and I wore it with like a brown trench coat over it with my black Doc Marten like platform things. I like totally dressed it up, right? Got home, went to bed in it, and now I'm wearing it. This is kind of gross, but now I'm wearing it to this podcast interview. So yeah, I think everyone needs a sweater that they love that they can just do a bunch of different stuff with.
that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I love like when people have like their thing. I'm so jealous. Like I need like that thing. I don't know.
Thing.
I gotta find one.
Yeah, this green
Anyway,
sweater is my current thing. It'll probably change as soon as I find another sweater that I like, but this has been it for like the past few months.
And you kind of touched on this before, but I definitely want to talk about this more in depth. What are your opinions on fast fashion and, ordering things online to wear once or twice, from like Shein or those kind of websites? Because I feel like it's a pretty controversial topic. And
It is controversial, and honestly, my opinions probably aren't like what people always want to hear. So I'll probably, you know what, I haven't like researched it, so I might say it wrong, but I
you're not like a professor studying
yeah.
clothes. Like you're just a person talking.
These are just my personal opinions. Definitely like looking back on my childhood, I know I could not afford like to ever go to Urban, to ever go to anything like that. Thrifting was like my only option, and Shein wasn't really around when I was a kid, but I know if it was, like, that would have been amazing for me because I would have been like, oh wow, I can like get new clothes. Like this is awesome for the price of thrifting. So I think if you it's not really fair to say like, oh, like thrifting, like Shein's bad. Da, 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 da. Oh my gosh, sorry, someone's calling me. Ada. I don't think it's fair to kind of go after everyone for that, because it's not fair to be like, oh, like everyone has to go shop at like these high end places where it costs like $200 for a sustainable shirt, because most people can't afford $200 for a sustainable shirt. So I think it's like responsibly, if you can afford to do that, awesome. But I think it is controversial. It's like there's no real like answer, because I don't think it's like a consumer thing. I think it's a producer and the people who are like kind of, I think, exploiting like the middle lower class, because it's kind of, it's like it's kind of messed up. They're exploiting people on both ends of it. So um I personally, like, I try not to shop on Shein. I have bought a few things from there like in the past, so like I'll be honest, like I have, but I think definitely thrifting's a great sustainable option. I think thrifting's cheap, and it's not always, and it's good for the planet, good for everyone. So I'd say like thrifting over that, but also I understand like Shein, like that's a great option for. I'm on a podcast interview, Blaine. Sorry. I think that's a great option for people. But yeah, honestly, I don't like it, but I totally understand, like it's a great option for people. And I know when I was growing up, like that would have been dope. That would have been the sickest thing ever for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks, but I wish that they would find a more sustainable way to like do it cheaper. So I'm like, I feel like it's like a producer. Like I'm mad at them. I'm not mad at the people who shop there, but I do when I see people doing like $2,000 Shein hauls. I'm like, come on, guys. Like
I'm
we
like,
don't.
that's just counterintuitive. Like that's not like or not
Yeah,
whatever. Like
I
that's
think
not
that it's definitely like circumstantial. Like if you're doing that, or like if you are just buying it, wearing it, and throwing it out, that's super irresponsible, and like it's, just not really feeding into a healthy like lifestyle or planet cycle. So yeah, I definitely two different opinions depending on like where you're coming from with it and like your intentions with it. But
yeah, totally.
Mhm.
I hope that was a good
So,
explanation. I'm like, I hope that.
so switching topics just a little bit here. Are there any cool things that you've gotten or been able to do because of your online presence and like how you've just grown on social media?
Oh yeah, like honestly, like my whole life here is like thanks to the people who like follow me and support me. Like without like them, like I couldn't afford anything I do. I wouldn't be able to live in LA. I wouldn't probably enjoy as much living in LA because I wouldn't get to. It wouldn't be as appealing if I was still doing what I used to do. So honestly, my whole life, yeah, my whole life that I'm living right now is thanks to the people who support me. But I did go on, I'm trying to think of like a specific event. I got to go to Florida with some of the other people in my like management agency on just like an influencer trip, and it was so fun. I got to meet so many new people, and it was really nice. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like I'm meeting all these people and making all these connections, like friendship connections off of
Mhm.
like an app, which like when I was a kid, like apps weren't even a thing. Like that's just crazy to me that so much, like the whole world has changed over like the past 10 years so much. So yeah, that was like the one standout event where I just kind of sat there for like an hour. It was like, wow, like I was going through it on that trip. I was going through it. So I was thinking about a lot, but I was just like, dang, like this is all off of like our phones. Like that's great. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But,
Mhm.
yeah.
Have there been any like cool people that you've gotten to meet like that you kind of like fangirled over at something just being like from an event or something?
I'm trying to think. Oh, well, not I wouldn't say fangirl, but I was just kind of like taken aback because I was at a White Fox invited me to a gifting thing in LA, and I was like, oh my gosh, like no way, this is so cool. So I showed up and I was already just so like excited to be there. I was like, I get clothes for free, like what the heck, this is so cool. And I was excited to meet people, and I like turned around the corner, and Chloe Lucasiak from Dance Moms, she
Yeah.
was there. We started talking, and she was so nice, and I was like, what the heck? Like I loved Dance Moms. I was so in Dance Moms. So I was so excited over that, meeting her. And just how nice she was. I was like, wow, people are actually like nice.
Yeah.
Other people. That was pretty much, I'm trying to think. There's been so many people, but now that you asked me, I'm like, my
But
mind.
I feel like everything in LA, like you can literally like go to like a movie and like you turn around, there's like Lady Gaga or something. It's like
Oh, I did see Shailene Woodley at a coffee shop and I lost my shit. I was like trying to hold it. I was so hyped because I love Divergent. Like I loved all of that. I love her so much. So that's probably one of the only people that I would get excited about. And I was like getting my coffee and I heard someone giggle and I was like, that is the Shailene Woodley giggle. Like I know that's her. And I turned around and she's like petting someone's puppy. And I was like, that is Shailene Woodley petting someone's dog. And then I walked away because I was like, I don't want to be annoying. But I just like smiled at her and I was like,
oh my
I
God, no,
can.
you should have said hi.
Oh,
I wanted to, but I was like, oh, COVID. Like I don't want to make her uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
you're just like out here living my dream right now, just like running into like Divergent at like the coffee shop. Like that is what I aspire to be in life. Like
that's what I did aspire. But now that I've peaked, I don't know what I'm gonna move on to. But
And what are some of your other interests or things just about you in general that your followers might not know?
ooh, so I love social media, so thankful for it, but I definitely am more I hate technology. Like I don't hate, but I love it. I think it's awesome, like the way that we use it, but I hate how much I'm on it. So I try to not be on it a lot. Like I just genuinely make my videos and then I kind of log off and go do like whatever that day is. But I love painting, like sewing, drawing, just pretty much anything with art. Like that's what I do like all day. It's just like, do you know Entangled? Like in the beginning when she like
Yes.
that's
her
exactly what
morning
I was thinking when
routine.
you were talking.
I was I was watching that the other day and I was like, this is kind of my morning routine, like reading, painting, drawing. So I think my followers probably do know that. I'm trying to think. But I love sailing. So my goal for the next few years is to get a sailboat and kind of just learn how to like go around the world with it. Like that's my kind of my life goal is to just sail around the world. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's definitely really hard with COVID to kind of like get that together, but definitely what I'm like working towards.
That's a lot of fun though. I feel like all those activities are very like low key, like not like stressful, which is really nice. Like it's a nice like hobby aside from like working.
They're all very, yeah, anti-stressful. I love that. I just need every day, I need my daily like decomposing.
Yeah, me too, me too.
Not decomposing, decompressing.
Oh, I didn't even process that.
Totally
My
decomposing.
daily decomposing.
Yeah, no, dang it. My biology teacher would laugh at me for that.
So do you have any idols or people that you look up to, either like in the fashion world or just in general?
Oh, this is a good question. I wouldn't say I've like sadly the people I've met who I've looked up to, most of them have kind of let me down. I've been like, oh wow, like you're not who I thought you were, or you don't treat people like how, you should not you should, but like how I, expected you would.
Mhm.
My main like role model in all my life is my dad. My dad is just like I love him. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, I want to be like my dad. So I'd say my dad. He's the best person I've met still this day after all these people. So yeah, he's just so honorable, integral, just the way he treats my mom and like me and my sisters. I'm like, okay, like I want to treat people like my dad treats people. I want to be motivated like my dad. I want to be honorable like my dad. So, oh,
You
my dad.
must be the most down to earth person we have ever talked to.
Me?
Like, yes, you are so centered and like you're so grateful for your followers and everything that you've been given. Like this is you just seem like such an amazing, sweet person.
You
Like,
guys are so
my God.
nice. Okay, thank you so much. That warms my heart. I'm like, thank you. I always like the last podcast I went on, we had the same conversation, but I always watch Emma Chamberlain and I feel like she's just like she's a role model. She's a role model to me. Like the way because I've never heard a bad thing about her. She's so nice. I've never met her. Wish I had, but never have. But everyone just has good things to say about her because she's just kind and she cares about people and she cares about herself too. Like she, takes care of herself. So I think Emma Chamberlain and my dad. But yeah. Thank you. It's so nice, you guys.
And I love how you mentioned like your dad compared to like some of the other people that you looked up to that kind of let you down. Because like I feel like everyone expects, people online to be perfect and to be like, these like godlike figures, but like in reality, sometimes the best people in your life are like, your dad.
Yeah,
Like
that's true. It's honestly every people I've met who I like followed on social media, I meet them and I'm like, oh, they're just a kid like me. Like we're just kids who have this huge platform and this huge like pressure on us. And sometimes I feel like it's a lot. I'm like, this is a lot. If you don't if you don't like know who you are in yourself, like because sometimes I don't, and I find myself I'm like when you get torn apart, you know, in comments, like that kind of you let that like become you, so you have to kind of just be like, no, this is who I am, like it's okay, like it's gonna be okay. So yeah, I think it's hard for everyone I know, like just the longer you like do it, probably the longer it like affects you. But also I'm very detached from like the social media group. Like I don't really have like a group of social media friends. Like I have friends, but I don't like hang out with them. I'm kind of just with myself and my roommates and my like video friends. So I think that might be why I'm not as like stressed out by it, because I never hear about like the drama or like what's going on. So
It's good to stay grounded and just stay, make sure you don't let it all consume you because
that's my thing. Yeah, I was like, if I do that, I know I'm not going to be okay. I'm going to be so anxious every day. So, yeah, I'm definitely more in. I have a great group of friends, but none of them are in social media. They all do like art or like video. Lots of them are like do music videos for the famous people. So yeah,
that's really
I
cool.
like living with them.
And do you have any like of your friends or any creators that you want to shout out, just people that you think are pretty cool?
Oh, I have so many. Okay, my friend. So actually, when I first moved to LA, there's this wonderful, beautiful woman, Lillian Wild. She's so sweet. I used one of her songs for a TikTok so long ago, and she saw that I moved to LA, saw that I was alone, and she like DM me and was like, "Dude, like, can I take you to lunch?" And she took me to lunch. Didn't know her. We went to I think it was Soho House, like this super nice restaurant. I was so stoked. I was like, "What the heck? This is crazy!" And at the time, I had like no money, and she bought me lunch, and then she was like, you should buy another one and take it home, and I didn't, because I was like, no, I can't do that to her. But her honestly, like her kindness to me kind of like showed me like, wow, like people really do care. And like when like that made such a huge impact on me, I was like, wow, like she doesn't even know me, she's just being kind because she saw that I moved here. And she's so talented, like amazing voice, like so kind. But what stands out more about her is like her heart and her kindness over like all her talent. So her. And then I'm trying to think of I have so many people who I adore, but definitely Lillian. She's probably my top like beautiful, kind heart, soul, talented, everything. I love her so much.
That's so sweet.
So yeah, you're such a nice person. I'm just gonna keep
How
saying
are
it.
you guys? Thanks for having me. I love doing
Yes.
podcasts. I'm like, yeah, it's something fun to do with my day.
So I know that you have a YouTube channel, right? And I don't know how many other platforms you're on, because I know like a lot of
I never post on there. I feel so bad. Like you said YouTube channel, and I was like, no. Every day I get like a DM of people being like, Faith, post on your
Post
YouTube. So
on
I'm
your.
happy people want to watch my videos, but I lost my camera charger. But I'm staring at
No.
the new one that I ordered that came in yesterday. So I promise, I'm listening. I'm gonna be back on my YouTube grind.
Okay, that's perfect. So I was gonna ask you your future plans with that. Or like
my,
any
my
future plans you have in general too. Like I know a bunch of creators. Kira's gonna get mad at me because I talk about this every interview. But okay, do you know what Twitch is? Like the gaming thing?
yeah, I do.
Are you
Yeah.
considering joining that and like being a creator on there?
No. No, definitely not.
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
already
interesting. I feel like it's such like a specific platform, but like everyone's moving to it, and I'm like, I cannot do this. Like, this is not what I'm.
I I'm definitely I'm so thankful for my platform, but in the back of my mind, I'm not like I want to grow it. I want more like
Mhm.
followers. Like that's not my goal. I think I definitely want to. I don't like I love it, but I don't feel like in my heart like the fulfilled feeling that I want. So I'm kind of switching more. Like I'm gonna keep doing it. I love it, and like the people who
Mhm.
follow me love them so much. Like so thankful for them. Like every day, I'm just like, dang, this is literally because of them. Like this is up to them. Like what you know. So I think my future plans, I definitely am thinking about going to college because I'm a year, this is my gap year. I guess this will be my second gap year coming up. So in my mind, I think I'm definitely thinking about moving on to something else, like a new chapter in my life. But I
Would
love
you
YouTube.
do college? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. What were you saying?
Would you do college in America, or would you consider going to New Zealand for it? Like, are you waiting to like get there to do it, or?
If I could get scholarships still, I would definitely love to go in America or maybe England because I could go England because of my New Zealand citizenship. But probably New Zealand just because I don't want to be the thought of being. I mean, this might be insensitive to say because I know some people are in debt and like that's what you have to do to go to college. But that thought just like makes me. I just couldn't. That's
I mean,
Totally.
if you have a way to avoid it, like, why not take it? You know?
yeah, if I could avoid it. If I have to, yeah, I'll go in the US. But yeah, I think definitely like I'm just not for sure gonna go, but thinking about it and like I didn't think I wanted to go, but now that I'm kind of into what I thought I wanted and I don't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I'm like, okay, something new. Like maybe I'll
Mhm.
try it, you know. So I think yeah, YouTube definitely gonna start doing because I do love YouTube and like I like editing. I don't do much with my days. I'm trying to find new things to like occupy myself. So I think editing would be fun. So yeah, definitely new plans, YouTube, and then getting my sailboat and making YouTube videos off of that. Like
Vlogging on the sailboat. That
yes, yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Awesome. And now just to kind of wrap up, we have a quick little game of this or that. So we just have two options and you can pick one and give a little explanation as to why you chose it and we'll just go
Okay.
right into it. Okay. First one is TikTok or YouTube?
YouTube because I feel like you have just more time to like get to know your followers and like your followers get to know you. And TikTok is so toxic. Like people just like are so nasty on there. Not everyone, but the good is starting to creep up with the bad. They're a little even. So I think YouTube just because it's more of like a calm, like safe space versus TikTok's just like a war zone. So yeah, YouTube, definitely YouTube.
What about books or movies?
Oh, books, 100%. I love books.
Okay, you chose the right answer.
You know how Dune's coming out?
Yeah.
Dune with Timothée Chalamet. Okay, I went and got the book the other day because I was like, I have to read this before I watch it. Like, no way I'm gonna like watch before I read. So I like read. I love reading because when you or we, I feel like everyone does this, but you like kind of create the movie for yourself in your head, and you like
Mhm.
watch it back and you're reading, and then you forget you're reading, and you're just like watching like this picture in your head. So I think reading definitely. I feel like it's probably good with like helping your memory because I have a bad memory. I realized like it's so bad. So I'm like, I need to start playing like memory games, reading harder stuff. But
Oh,
yeah,
I totally need to read more. I need to read more.
I'll
Anyway,
send you a book list. I'll send you one. I have one.
oh my God, please do. I need books.
Wait,
Yeah.
this book? Oh wait, this isn't a video. This isn't video, right? This is just voice.
It could be either you want.
Okay, cool. So if you guys are looking for a good book, it's called Love and Other Words. It's so good. I was crying. This is my new comfort book. It is kind of spicy though, so maybe like not that spicy at all. There's just like maybe like I'd say like 14 enough. I don't know. I don't know. Go Google it, but it's a good book.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God.
And then sneakers or sandals?
Oh, ooh, that one's harder. I just say sneak. I love Birkenstocks. I'm a religious Birkenstock wearer from Washington, so I kind of have to be. But definitely sneakers because you can go do more. Like if you go like out, I like to go hiking and stuff. So those are great because you can do everything in them. Where sneakers, it's kind of like you're not for practicality. You know, your feet aren't as protected. And if the zombie apocalypse happened to hit like while I was out, I'd want to have my sneakers on, not my Birkenstocks.
Do you like the beach or the city more?
Oh, the beach. I do not like the city. Living here, I realized like I am not a fan of the city at all. But I love the beach. I grew up on the beach, so definitely the beach.
Okay.
And then hair up or hair down?
Ooh. I say hair down. I wear my hair down pretty much just like this every day. Like I don't really do anything to it. But that's probably like a me being lazy thing. If I knew how to do my hair like really cute up, I would probably do it more. But definitely hair down because it's easy and you can just roll out of bed and go.
Mhm. Okay, so this next question is like gonna determine like everything. Tea or coffee?
I'm nervous.
I don't know if she heard. Tea or
Oh,
coffee?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't hear. Yeah, I was waiting for it.
That's okay.
Okay, because I love both. I make both all the time. But coffee, because I'm addicted.
Okay.
I am addicted to coffee, so I couldn't live without it. But I do love tea. But I put milk in my tea, so that probably ruins that answer either
Milk and
way.
tea.
So
Oh,
yeah.
that's interesting. I mean, I guess like
My grandparents from New Zealand did it when I was a kid, and they lived with us every year for 3 months in the summer. So I was like, well, I'm putting milk in my tea too.
I mean, I guess it works. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of either, to be honest, but I drink both in just very certain kinds. I love like peppermint tea. Anyway,
He's
calling or
good.
texting?
Calling text. Oh, calling. I texting like there's been so many like in my life I've realized so many times where like I haven't put as like people have needed me to like be there for them and texting you can't really be there for someone so it's always worth it to call someone so they can just hear in your voice like you're there for them and you care and also like if you're arguing not arguing but like you should never argue over text ever you should
Yeah.
never have any like important discussion ever over text because you just you're like you're leaving yourself and the other person involved in the dark. So if you value your relationships with people, I think you should call them or FaceTime them. But yeah.
Definitely agree.
Mhm. So do you like the day or the night more?
Ooh. Well, when I'm going through it, I like the night more because I'll just sleep in and stay up so late, just doing like painting or just like not being okay. So probably the day. Like I'm a day person. I need to get up early and go to bed at 9. The past few nights, so I made like so thankful. I made some new friends, but they're crazy. They stay up so late and they are so fun. But I went to Six Flags and they stayed till 1 in the morning, and I was like, "What? You guys have so much energy!" And then I didn't get home till 3. And then last night I stayed out till 3 too with them, and I was like, dang, like this is not for me. I can't do it. So I'm definitely day. I like to get up and then go to bed.
No, but also just like Six Flags in general. I'm there for like an hour and a half and I'm like asleep. Like, how did they? What?
I love them. They're my new inspiration in life. I'm like, y'all are just insane. Like I want this energy. I can get it back. I just need to like eat healthy maybe.
Yeah, that's a solution to all of it. Just
Drink
eat
more
a salad or
coffee.
something. Yeah. Well, Faith, thank you so much for coming on. We had such a great time.
Thanks for having me. I love thanks for honestly like I've only done like 2 other podcasts, and each of them I was like, this is so fun. So
Yeah,
thank you. I
love
really
it.
love being here.
Awesome. And if anyone listening wants to follow you on social media, if they don't already, where can they do that?
My it's Faith Ann on in TikTok. I probably should make them the same. So TikTok is Faithy Ann. The yeah, and then Instagram Instagram is Faith Collins. So on there, and then my Instagram, maybe I'll make a link tree. Yeah, I'll do that. If you go to my Instagram, I'll have everything tagged there.
And to anybody listening at home, if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to follow us on our Instagram and TikTok, where we are at acoam.podcast, and also our Twitter, where we are at acoam_podcast. Follow us there to queue up and hear about more awesome guests like Faith.
And thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week on a coming of age movie.